how do you eat and how do you exercise, and is it adding value to your life? When you're at home and you are eating your food, are you thoroughly enjoying it, and is it adding value to your life? If you want to start an argument about food and exercise, go outside your home, even if it's just by the internet, and ask some questions about how to eat and how to exercise. If you want to start an argument, that's a really good way to do it. But here's a very personal question. When you're at home and you're eating your food, shouldn't it be a wow experience? Shouldn't it be something that you just love to do? It adds value to your life from a nutrition point of view, but it's a pleasurable experience as well. But we live in a world now where food, exercise, health, well-being, anti-aging, anti-disease has become a very controversial topic. I've just been out today chatting with the world about how to be healthy, fit and strong. But here's one of the things I've learned, because I'm a very old lady, I learnt this the hard way. People are going to do what they're going to do. And most importantly, everybody's a unique individual. So if somebody tells you you should eat a certain way, or you should exercise a certain way, or you should take this drug because it's going to do a certain thing for your body, is it possible that it might not work the same way for you? So the question I always ask is this: if two people go on the same diet, and they eat exactly the same food at exactly the same time of the day, do they get exactly the same results? If two people get plastic surgery and they want to have a certain result, and this is a really interesting one, because the worst case scenario with plastic surgery, 1 in 50,000 people die when they have plastic surgery. That's the horrible outcome. The other end of the scale is that people love the result from their plastic surgery. They look younger and more gorgeous, and they feel really good about themselves, and they've got high self-esteem. So somewhere in between, if you decide to have plastic surgery to look good, for example, the worst case scenario is you'll die, or it'll be an awesome result, but it's going to be somewhere in between. There isn't a guaranteed result. If you do an exercise program, if two people do exactly the same exercise program at exactly the same time of the day, they do exactly the same number of reps and sets and all of that, do they get exactly the same result? And of course the answer is no. So the question that I always have, because I chat with the general public on a regular basis about being healthy, fit and strong, my question is always, what's going to work best for you? So, for example, if an exercise professional says to me, or someone who wants to be an exercise professional, people who come to the Max colleges, that's one of the reasons they come, is they want to help people to be healthy, fit and strong. And they ask me, Rowie, what should I do to be the very best exercise professional? And that excites me, because there's plenty of ordinary, average personal trainers in the world. I would love it if you would like to be the best in the world. But I always ask the question, if somebody's really fit and if they're really strong, what will happen to their life? Will their life change? Will it be better? Will they have less chance of coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, depression, obesity, 80% of cancers if they're fit and strong? And of course the answer is yes. Will they have better hair, skin or nails? Yes. Will they have a higher self-esteem? It's most likely. Will they have a stronger attitude towards life so they can handle challenges? Yes. There's a whole heap of awesome things that happen when you get fit and when you get strong. But the argument comes in now, how do I get somebody fit and strong? And that's been my driving force all of my life. I started exercising when I was 10 years of age, and I want everybody to feel as fit and strong and healthy and awesome as I do, as an old lady who's exercised every day of her life since she was 10. But my life's completely different to yours. The food that I like is completely different to you. The amount of time that we've got to invest into our exercise program and our eating plan is completely different. Some eating plans take a really long time because you've got to weigh everything and measure it and cook it, and some people just don't want to eat like that. Some people are given exercise programs that they could never fit into their lifestyle. I've got a really cool story for that. One of my business associates is the owner of a very large chain of health clubs. And her desire was for women to exercise and get strong. And now that she's got such a large chain of clubs, she often just pops into one of her health clubs to have a look at what's going on. And she went in there one day, opened up the program system for women to exercise, and she just pulled out a program. She then pulled the personal trainer aside, and she said to that personal trainer, I want you to do this program. I want you to take the very program that you wrote for this woman, and I want you to go and do it in the gym. And of course the personal trainer was a little bit perplexed. And the owner of the health club chain said, that's going to take about an hour and a half, but I want you to go and do it, because how many women that come to our health club have got an hour and a half to exercise, which means they're probably never going to do that program, which means they're never going to get a result, which means they're never going to get the benefit of exercise. You can understand why she's a business colleague of mine. I highly respect that. And she forced that personal trainer to do the program, and it took her over an hour and a half. Now, if you understand anatomy and physiology, and that's the question that I always ask, I'm just sharing with you, it's a beautiful day today, but it's freezing cold, and I love that it's cold because a lot of people hate the cold. And what we do know about anatomy and physiology is when your body's cold, it's got to work hard, it's got to shiver to stay warm, which means you increase your metabolism. So, and I share that because a lot of the things that people whinge, moan and complain about are the things that are actually good for our body. But you would never know that if you didn't know your anatomy and physiology. And that's my personal question and my request, particularly if you're a parent, a teacher, a coach, a boss or a leader. People look at you for advice, or they look at you to be the living example of healthy, fit and strong. Are you giving people long, slow, boring programs that may not work, even if they're the best program in the world? They might not work because it doesn't fit in with the person's lifestyle. So that's my beautiful way of asking exercise professionals, if somebody's fit and if somebody's strong, will their life be better? Yes. But what do you have to do as an exercise professional to make sure that that fitness and strength program fits into that person's lifestyle? So I always think there's 3 parts to a program. Get somebody fit, get somebody strong, and make sure it fits in with them personally, their personal lifestyle. So if somebody's got 5 minutes, how can I get them fit and strong in 5 minutes? If somebody's got 5 hours and they want to exercise for 5 hours, what's the most efficient, effective way for me to get them excited about the time frame that they've got to exercise in the time frame that they've got? And it seems that there's a lot of exercise professionals who tell. They preach and tell and even argue. And I'll ask again, if you want to have an argument with somebody, post something on social media about how to get healthy and how to get fit and how to get strong. And an argument will start, I promise, because everybody's got an opinion about how to be healthy, fit and strong. But my question is always this: whatever you think is perfect, the perfect diet, the perfect exercise program, the perfect way to get somebody fit and strong, does that necessarily mean that the person can do it? Because what if it doesn't fit in with their lifestyle? So some people have international travel, and so they're in different time zones all the time. So you can't tell them when to eat because they're in a different time zone. Some people have 5 children, which is very different from a single person that can go to the gym for hours and hours. Some people have very stressful jobs, and their ability to exercise for hours and hours, one is they can't fit it into their lifestyle, but it's not going to do them any good because they have to de-stress. And a program that takes a very long time doesn't work on the phosphate system to de-stress them, to get rid of those stress chemicals out of their body and replace those stress chemicals with dopamine, serotonin, brain-derived neurotropic factor endorphins, which is going to make them feel good rather than stressed. So the very personal question about what's the best way to eat and the best way to exercise, my answer is always the same. What's your very best way to get puffed? What do you like to do to get puffed? And it doesn't matter what you do, because your heart and lungs don't know the difference, whether you sprint on a cross trainer or you run up a hill or you run through soft sand or you kick a bag or you dance on a dance floor. It doesn't matter as long as you're getting puffed. So what do you love to do? And often the question is, what do you hate to do the least? Because some people hate all forms of exercise. But is it possible they hate it because it's long, slow and boring? If it's only 10 seconds and it's 10 seconds of something that they hate the least, they're going to get fit. If you put high intense activity into your body at 100% effort in the phosphate system, woohoo, I'm excited, and you do that on a regular basis, you will get fit. If you exercise at high intense injections of activity for 10 seconds on a regular basis, you'll get really fit at 100%. If you lift something heavy, and again, your muscles and bones are blind, your endocrine system and your central nervous system is blind. It doesn't know whether you're lifting a rock, a log, a child, a heavy wet blanket, a heavy wet log. I've been doing that recently, trying to pull heavy logs out of the water. Wood's already heavy, but you soak it with water and it becomes incredibly heavy, which means you don't have to go to the gym to lift weight. Your body doesn't know what you're lifting as long as it's overloading your muscles and bones. So to get fit, you've got to get puffed. To get strong, you've got to overload your muscles and bones. And how you do that doesn't matter, as long as it's safe. And that's the big one, of course, because there's a lot of exercise programs that are very unsafe. So if you look at something, even if you don't have any anatomy and physiology knowledge whatsoever, if you look at an exercise and you think to yourself, if that was on a construction site or in a warehouse or in a workplace situation, somebody could get sued for doing that movement because it obviously looks like it's going to hurt the person's back or their knee or their neck or their shoulder. So why would you do it in the gym? Why would you do it as an exercise? That's just pretty simple. But if you have a basic understanding of anatomy and physiology, it's very easy to understand that compression forces and traction forces through a joint are safer or much safer than if you put shearing forces across a joint and you do it with speed and momentum. So if you're going to do an exercise program that puts shearing forces through your joints and you're doing it fast with momentum, it's very likely that you're going to bust a joint. And if you've got broken, busted joints, you obviously can't exercise. So for me, it's a really simple process. And people always ask, Rowie, you're healthy, fit and strong. Do you tell people how to exercise? Hell no. Rowie, you're healthy, fit and strong. Do you tell people how to eat? Hell no. I ask people, I get excited. I ask people what's going to fit in with your lifestyle. We've got to get you puffed and we've got to get you strong. So we've got to get you to lift something heavy. What's that going to be? Some people love going to the gym for hours and hours, and 9 out of 10 people hate going to the gym. They never want to go to the gym. And if you've ever been to the gym lately, you might see some of the people there don't look like they're having a very good time either. Wouldn't you want your exercise program to be short, fast, safe and effective, and you can fit it into your lifestyle and you actually enjoy it? Now there's a bonus, isn't it, that you enjoy what you're doing. Shouldn't food be the same, that you enjoy it? There's so many eating plans where people can't have, mustn't have, don't have, shouldn't have, that's bad for you. They feel guilty if they eat it. They feel angry if they can't have it. So they end up being stressed. And I think one of the biggest killers in the world, of course, is stress. That's not my personal opinion either. If a body's under stress, your immune system has to work really hard. Often, if you're not fit and strong, your immune system breaks down, which means you pick up germs, bugs, viruses, and diseases. And that's why 80% of cancers are preventable and curable, because the cancer is a serious breakdown of your immune system because you're not fit and strong. And that's a beautiful thing about being fit and strong. You can do everything better, include fighting germs, bugs, viruses and diseases. Now today I've chatted to older people who are over 65 in a retirement village, who are wanting to stay strong and young and have great fun every day and enjoy the rest of their life with great quality of life. Well, they can't do that if they're weak, and they can't do it if they're unfit, and they can't do it if they're in a wheelchair because their body's wasted away and become frail. So wouldn't it be awesome to stay young and fit and strong and have great quality of life for the rest of your life? And surely the only way to do that, and this is me in my begging position again, get fit in whatever way it suits you, get strong in whatever way it suits you, and then your attitude towards that, if it's short and fast and safe and effective, are you more likely to stick to it for the rest of your life? So all the arguments about when you should eat and how much you should eat and how often you should eat and how often you should exercise and what exercises you should do and how many times a week you should do them, again, begging. When you understand how the human body works, that becomes a very simple process. Get fit to get puffed to get fit. Overload your muscles and bones to get strong. And whatever you do, make sure that it's safe and effective so it fits in with your lifestyle. And when it comes to food and exercise, wouldn't it be awesome if you did it for pleasure as well? Not just because you have to stay young and strong and fit and healthy, but because you want to stay young and strong and fit and healthy. So you can live your life to the max, whether you're at home or somewhere else. Super duper doo, how are you? Living my life to the max. Woohoo!